Yeah, I'll show you how to get it, but you have to be willing to do the work. The Syndicate, it's a motherfucking movement.
You ain't gotta be perfect, long as you down to put the work in. If when it comes to the bullshit you allergic, well, you just might be my kind of person. Welcome to the Syndicate, where real estate wholesaling is what the business is. Ain't gotta talk about it when you out here living it. So if you out here getting it, then welcome to the Syndicate. Welcome to the Syndicate. Welcome to the Syndicate.
One of the biggest reasons I see new wholesalers fail, not make it, why they end up quitting, throwing in the towel. And then on the flip side, why some wholesalers are able to crush it and consistently close deals month after month, and stay in the game, make a shitload of money. And first, let's start with why people fail, right? What is the biggest reason they fail? And I think the most common thing I've seen is they're chasing the shiny object, right? They're chasing the shortcut. They're looking for that easy button. They're looking for that magic bullet, or as my friend RJ Bates calls it, they're looking for the unicorn, right? They're looking for this magic fairy tale fucking item that's going to make everything so easy, right? Just like that guru they saw online who said how easy wholesaling is. And it's not the hardest fucking thing in the world either, right? It's not like we're out there sweating our ass off in the sun, doing hard manual labor for low pay. You literally sit in an office, if you have a house, whatever, you sit somewhere nice, inside, AC, you make some fucking phone calls. The worst thing that happens to you all day is, someone tells you to go fuck off, right? And it's really, as long as you can deal with that, I think you can make it in wholesaling. I don't think it's a magic skill set people are born with, why some are successful and some aren't. Really, I think the biggest thing, again, is that shiny object, because I see so many people, and every time I talk to them, they're hopping from thing to thing to thing, right? One week, they're like, hey, I'm just dialed in, I'm doing this, I'm going to, call pre-foreclosure leads. Next week, I'm doing PPL, right? Going PPL. And then, later on, they're doing something completely different. They're doing mailers, whatever. They're doing something, they're doing a whole new strategy, whatever. And it's not that they're picking the wrong thing. And I think that's the reason they quit and they fail. It's like, oh, none of this shit works. But if you're only doing it for a short period of time, you really don't know. And like we've talked about before, if you're not tracking your numbers, if you're not actually doing it, but on top of that, if you're not tracking, but if you're not doing it long enough to make it work, it's not going to work, right? And a lot of people just they treat it too. I think another reason, on top of the shiny object syndrome, is that they don't treat it like a business, right? They treat it like a side hustle, or get rich quick scheme or whatever, and make a couple phone calls, and then nothing happens, right? And it's like, oh, I fucking called, nobody answered. And it's like, it's crazy. I don't know. There's no other place, you ever work. My first job, real job, was working at Wendy's. And you didn't go in there and flip two fucking burgers and get to leave, right? Like you had to fucking do it, right? So you have to be able to, treat it like a job, right? At first you treat it like a job, but you also got to treat it like a business, right? And then be in it for the long haul. You can't just do it for a short period of time. When I started wholesaling, I told myself I'm going to fucking there was no other option. And I'm like, hey, this is like, in my mind, I just didn't see it not fucking happening, right? Like, I'm going to make this happen, right? And like, luckily I had those reference points because, before then, I've been a business owner, I've been an entrepreneur for over a decade now. And it's like, I've had so many times I made fucking something out of nothing. And it's just because I didn't quit, right? And like, if you just don't quit, you just keep doing it. And then don't jump from thing to thing either, right? Because if you're jumping thing to thing, you're just not going to get anywhere. You're just going to spin your wheels. You're going to go in circles, and you're going to end up fucking nowhere. So, and then the biggest thing I get to see, because again, I get to see a lot of wholesalers on the other side. We work with a lot of people on the investor plug side, which we'll go into more too, where we get a lot of unique insights. But the people I see who actually win, the people who actually crush it and that are doing deals consistently, are able to grow and scale and hire people and get fucking good leads and put money into marketing and all the shit we all want to do when we first start, is they pick the strategy and they stuck with it, right? You can't just, it's like what the grass is greener on the other side, whatever. There's a million fucking analogies, stories, fairy tales we tell ourselves and, as people, because it's just the grass isn't greener. You just get a fucking, the grass is greenest where you water the grass, right? Where you sit and you take care of it. So just pick a strategy and stick with it. The truth is that there's no magic strategy, right? Everything has its pros, its cons, whatever. It's just fucking picking one and just doing it, making it work, right? Do it till it works, till it works. Then if it doesn't work, all of a sudden it stops working, right? Like, you do it long enough, it stops working, maybe make a pivot, or maybe you find a way to make it work again. Right. One of the things for us, when texting, everyone stopped texting, like, oh no, you can't text anymore. We found a fucking way to make it work, right? We found a way, to get around the care about it, play in that gray area. And then, if you want to keep making it work, you make it work, and then you add other channels after, right? Obviously don't eventually you don't want to have all your eggs in one basket, right? Everyone talks about diversification, with investing, but like you can't really diversify until you get one steady fucking flow, right? So you just really, really, really need to stick with it. If you're new, you're starting out, and you're one of these people, and it feels like I'm talking to you, that you're jumping from thing to thing to thing, just stop and just pick one, right? Most of them work. Most of them, like, you can make it work, and it can even be a bad strategy. You can have a bad script, you can have a bad system, you can be working off spreadsheets or paper and notes or whatever. If like you just commit and you don't like accept that, like, hey, in a week I'm gonna quit fucking doing this, or you're gonna do it until you do it, right? Or die trying, you're gonna make it happen, right? So just pick one fucking thing. That's the secret, right? That's the shortcut. The shortcut is doing the work, doing it consistently day after day, and just picking that one thing, and just own it, right? Just every day you're a little bit better. It's never going to be your first call. Is always going to be like every day after that. It's going to be your worst one ever. Every day after that, you're going to get a little bit better. You're a little bit better in talking to people, and all your stuff. You're going to get it fine tuned, and you just keep getting better and better over time. But if you don't commit and you don't put in that time, you don't put in the effort, you're never going to get there, right? I, it's. I'd like to say I wish it was easy, but I don't, because then fucking, it'd be that much harder. But if you can just put in a little bit of work, you're miles ahead of the fucking competition. If you can just commit and put in the work daily, right? It really doesn't take a lot. You can just get focused effort and just get after it. Like you can do a lot in a short period of time if you get real hyper focused. So I know a lot of you guys know. I'm sure if you listen to the podcast or follow me on social media or whatever, or know me in person. We have our company Investor Plug, and Investor Plug, we build custom systems. We build AI, automations, CRMs, websites, everything. Basically, it's a whole business in a box. And what we do is we build it custom for wholesalers and investors. Right? We have other niches we work with too, but that's who we focus on. Right? That's what we know very well. That's what originally we did it for ourselves. We did it for some of our friends. That, like, they were closing deals, and they start closing more deals and start telling people. But the whole reason I say that is because I get a lot of unique insights, in my role at Investor Plug, right? Because one of the things I do is I actually get to sit down with these wholesalers. They're doing a bunch of deals. These people are consistently doing deals month after month, and it's people from all, we help people that are brand new too. And then we help them model kind of off our stuff. But I get to see, really just like a deep dive inside their business. Because one of the first things we do when we onboard a new client is we sit down and map out, like, hey, what is your process? And most people, like, if you don't feel like you haven't mapped out yet and you are doing deals, don't feel bad. Most people don't. Most people never take the time to do that. And especially like if you're doing the first thing that I mentioned, you're fucking hit your head down and you're being focused and committed. And you're doing all the sales or whatever it is you do really well. It makes sense, right? You're in the business. It's hard to step out of it, but that's kind of where we come in. Is we kind of break it down. What's the journey like? What are you doing? What's your lead source? What's your sales system like? What's your process? And then if the people don't have it, we can kind of help share what works best for us and some of our clients that are killing it. But the thing that really surprised me, right? The reason I get into this is when we started to look into these businesses and get to really take a peek under the hood, so to speak, and see what people are doing. I thought too. I mean, I'm like, oh, there's a couple different ways you can do it, right? And I've been doing it for a while, and people did it, and there's all similar, little differences, maybe different PDL company or different whatever. Maybe they say something a little bit different in their script, but like overall, like you're looking 30-foot view or whatever, like it all looks we thought, or I thought, I made the incorrect assumption that it was like all the same, right? Like, oh, that you're getting leads coming in, you're doing that. And like, partly yes, right? You have to have some kind of leads coming in where it's all different. But what really, shocked me, I guess, at first was just like how radically different people's businesses were. And like, it's not like one guy, like, oh, he's doing it the right way. He's so much more successful. It was like someone was doing something here. Like we have one client, um, big wholesaler. They do a shitload of deals. They literally came in, they were just working on, spreadsheets and, super disorganized and color coding like we all are. But they were doing it for years and they were still doing a lot of deals because like that first thing I said is they just kept their head down and they did what they're really good at. But they don't do acquisition. They just do dispo, right? They don't do it, which is crazy to me because like I've always, liked acquisition. It's what I'm best at. But like they literally just do dispo and they JV with other companies. They do a shitload of fucking deals, right? They don't have a marketing cost. They don't do that. And like their business is great, right? They train people to do that and they crush it. And there's a lot of other businesses that's their model, right? And then they're on the other side, how I thought was like my model and how I started a lot of people I know is that we're focused on the acquisitions, right? Get the deal first, figure it out after. We're hammering the phones, we're making leads, we're making deals out of nothing, buying leads, whatever. And like, then we're worrying about dispo. But like that's just like two opposite sides. But even like when we get in the nitty gritty, and you get to like really see like we have people that like, hey, like one guy just word of mouth, he goes to all the networking events, but he does a bunch of deals month after month because like he did it long enough that he's that guy in his market, right? He's that guy. People send deals to him, and they're they think that market, they think him. Right. And they send him deals. And so we built our system around that. So you could collect those deals and, properly be able to, keep track of them and, see which ones are worth spending time on, which ones weren't. And people just, Facebook ads, they're just heavy into Facebook ads. They're killing it. And then, another client we got recently, just SEO, right? They're getting a shitload of leads just from SEO. And it's like completely different marketing strategy. And like people's sales systems too, like are radically different, which is not so me like, oh, it's pretty much the same. You just want to, call quick, call fast and stay on top, keep following up. But we just built a new one, called the 30-day Blitz, or I'm sorry, no, the 3-day Blitz rather. And it's like, the guy said, what do you want me to build? So we built our AI bots and our follow-up automations, to like literally what new lead comes in, they do Google ads, new lead comes in and he's like, hey, I want to hit him up every hour on the hour. Right. Like, and I'm like, what do you mean every hour? He's like, like fucking day starts, from like 9 to 7, 9 to 8 o'clock, as late as we can. We're going to call them and text them every hour until they answer. I'm like, bro, that's great. That works. And he's like, yeah, dude, it works fucking great. I'm like, I was skeptical. I'm like, all right, that's what you want, man. It works for you. Like, let's fucking try it out and see what happens, right? That's really all you can do in the marketing side systems, like test it and see what works. And I built it. I set it up, and it's pretty cool. I had to like kind of like customize a lot to see how that would work, and make sure people had a chance to take it over manually with AI and with the automations. And I was fucking wrong, right? Like even though I've seen inside all these businesses, been wholesaling forever, it worked really well. I've been in sales forever. I never thought of calling someone every hour on the hour and texting them, just blowing them up, and like it's been working great. Really, all the people like so far, all the people have said no, and it's kind of said he's been doing it forever. But all the people that say no, we're gonna probably say no anyways. They're tire kickers. You look at their web forms, they're just like, yeah, maybe I'll sell at some point. But like, all the people that were really motivated and wanted to do it, they took the call and they like, they're turning into deals. And so it's just that. Then we have other people like they do the long game and they just follow up forever. But for him, after those 3 days, he's, fuck it. New leads are coming in. I'm not going to focus on them. They didn't answer. I don't know how many times I'm going to call them if I hit them up that many times in a 3-day period. And I'm like, oh, it's genius. But it's like, it's knowing what your system is and just having that. There's so many different ways to win, right? It's not just having that one thing. It's just picking one thing and sticking with it. Because like I said, the other guy, I know, like he hits him up a couple times. And then like over the first week, he hits him up a few times a day. You hit him a couple times a day over the first week, right? It's like, usually that's how I've always done it too, is like first week, really hit him up. Like, we'll call him once or twice. We'll send some text, emails, voicemail drops, mix it up. Really just try to get them on the call, the AI reach out. And like by week 2, like, 7, 10 days, we start to like, okay, I get a couple of times a week and see the next couple of weeks and then monthly do that. And that works really well too. Right. But the whole point I'm trying to get at is like it doesn't really matter, right? Whether you just pick one thing, and just crush it with that one thing, because there's so many different ways you can do it. You can do sub two, novations, and like just no, you don't have to do it all. Like eventually you can start to add more marketing channels, right? You can start to diversify, but just pick one fucking thing, get locked in, start closing deals. So you could literally like give you all the best tools, right? All the best leads, all the best things. But if you just keep jumping from thing to thing and you don't actually work it, you're not going to get anywhere, right? So just commit, right? Like give yourself 60 days, 90 days. Say, hey, I'm going to do this one fucking thing, right? If you haven't got a deal yet, or you're getting a deal here and there, like, not very consistently, right? Nothing you can like actually count on. It might be because you're not really fucking, doing the work consistently. You haven't dialed into one strategy, right? And you're jumping from thing to thing. So if that's you, take a hard look, and if that's you, just commit, all right? Just commit, pick one thing, even if you're wrong, whatever, just fucking do it, all right? And make it work. So that's really, one of the biggest things. Just picking the marketing channel. Then, like we always talk about, track your KPIs, track your numbers. You really don't know if it works or if it doesn't until you track it, right? And you have to kind of have that mindset of like, let's fuck around and find out, right? Let's see, does this work? Doesn't it? Like, what do I really know? Like with the whole, the 3-day blitz thing, we're just up every hour. And like, if I had to guess, I'm like, I don't think that'll work, but I was wrong. It worked for him. Yeah, it works really well, and it works for other people doing it that way. So like you just don't make assumptions and just like fucking try it, right? Try it and commit to it, and see what happens, right? So that's really it, and guys, if you're new, you haven't started, or if you want to learn to scale and like really take your business to the next level, you guys need to come to the event. So Wholesaling Syndicate Live, if you haven't heard, bring it back this year. It's gonna be our biggest, our best one yet, and we're providing so much value. It's crazy. I just locked up a crazy lead sponsor that's gonna be providing a shitload of PPL leads for all our VIP ticket holders, which is super cheap to get. VIP, it's like $497 for a ticket, and like you're gonna get leads, catered lunch, you're gonna get the speakers and all that shit, and then be a GA you get in the door for less than $100. You really need to be at this event, right? Like you don't know how many people like you'll meet at events. Go back, listen to the episode I did about getting in the right room. But like getting into events like this is a game changer. But literally, we have 7-figure business operators coming in, that like they're going to teach you exactly how they run their wholesaling business. They're going to teach you how to scale. People like Logan Fulmer, people like John Lalonde, so many other names. We have Pace Morby coming on virtually, doing a whole presentation for you guys. We have Mike Lannis. We got so many people. You guys need to be here. And again, we're going to be helping you guys close deals too. We're going to have 2 live calling sessions. I'm going to be announcing soon, probably in the next episode, probably by next week, we'll have it all dialed in and ready to announce it. But we're going to be doing special boiler rooms. We're bringing the boiler rooms back. And we're going to do those leading up to the event. So you guys are going to have a chance, like if you do well on the boiler room live stream, you're gonna have a chance at the event to like go and close deals on a stage and just get compete against some other people. So that's going to be really fun. We're going to break down how all that works. We have a whole bunch of other things we're announcing. We still have more speakers we haven't announced. But if you guys want to see all the info, just type in Wholesale Syndicate Live. Just Google it. You just go to live.wholesaling syndicate, whatever you want. The link's going to be on the show notes and the YouTube video wherever you watch this or listen to this. But yeah, make sure you get here. It's not a lot of money. If you're serious about wholesaling, you really need to commit. You need to just, get around the right people, get around people that are doing it. And, like we're talking about this whole episode, just commit to one thing, right? Make this shit work, right? Do the best. Do it for fucking 3 months, right? Do it for like 3 months. Like, hey, I grinded my fucking face into the wall, for 3 months, this shit doesn't work, whatever. If you've never done sales, maybe it'll take you a little longer. But like, if you really just commit, you just fucking like commit, right? And just get after it. It's going to happen. It's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. But you just got to pick a lane and fucking dominate it. So, guys, appreciate you listening. Make sure you stay tuned and listen to next week. Share this with someone if you know someone that would get some value out of this episode. Do me a favor, help share it. And we'll see you guys next week.